How you guys doing today?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. So
Is anybody sitting here? Good.
So Tatara, you have pretty much at this point most of the gamut of Batman characters. So how does it feel like jumping into Poison Ivy?
Oh, you know what? It was really good because we are really amazing performers, and we feel like we should be able to do every character, right? Isn't there like something like I want to do that?
I think you already do,
right? But if you don't do it, you're like I want to do that.
Oh,
right? So I'm like, oh, now I get to do that. That's fun. So it's just another great fun role, and I actually feel really honored being part of this universe. So anytime there's a new DC character that I get to do, I'm like, oh, I'm her now. Oh, I'm her. And when I was a kid, I read the comics. I was a huge Batgirl fan. I've got like some really good first issue Batgirl comics that my dad helped me get, and they're still in my house in Canada. I'm not giving you the address.
You're one of those beautiful women that actually really did read comic books.
I did.
Because there's so many beautiful women that are like, I'm really into comic books. And they're like, oh, really? What ones? And they're like, like, you know, the ones, the paper ones.
I have to be honest, though, my favorite when I was a kid was Archie. I loved Archie.
Oh,
comics.
yes.
Have you seen anything from Riverdale?
Really
I mean, I was obsessed. I had every double digest. I loved Archie. And we're Betty and Veronica.
Why hasn't that happened? Why hasn't that happened?
We should do a little web series or something.
Oh my God, we just had a genius idea.
We're not sharing the money with any.
Yeah. That's a really good idea.
I'm in.
So does it feel weird sometimes when someone else voices a character you already voiced?
We hate that. We really hate that. We hate that one the most.
Oh.
Don't get me started.
And the people that, well, I mean, they when they did the new Powerpuff, they had, you know, other peers like trying. They're like, "Do you want to audition for this?" And I was like, "Let me call Tara. What's going on with that?" And then I'm like, "No, I didn't."
When you create, okay, so here's the deal. When other people are Batgirl or whatever, I get it. But when you create a character from scratch, where it wouldn't be what it is without you help mold the voice, you help mold different ways they say things, expressions, accents, whatever it is, sometimes even other languages, and that character goes on to create a huge fan base where they're making billions in toys or whatever it is. We all have that role that we feel like we really created that. Those are hard to be like, wow, really? I'm still here.
And also, like, to not let those women audition for those roles again. Like, they just kind of didn't even allow them to even try to get whatever, because they were like, we're going in a new direction. It's like, well, good, can I go in that direction with you?
Well, and most of us work all the time because we're versatile. Like, they said, well, we want them to be older, and my agent's like, we have 40-year-old women playing kindergartners, so you can make them a little older, but that one was kind of heartbreaking. But it doesn't, like I said, really bother me, and this, obviously I'm still on the show and I have a great time, and it's just a different, you know, series. So it does happen. It's part of our business.
Even this, I play Catwoman in other areas, and I was like, who's playing Catwoman?
Yeah.
Even though I never begrudge another actor work, I'm happy that.
Yeah, I mean, we're always very supportive of each other, but when you are a character, I feel like, and we've been saying this, like, they become part of you. They live upstairs and you bring them down to play. So when someone else is doing it, it does feel strange.
If I really like them, though, I'm like, oh, that's cool. When we did Shaolin Showdown, and then they ended up doing it with Canadian, and so some of the people got to stay because we were Canadian citizens, but I was not Canadian. But I was like, oh, well, who's playing Kimiko? And they're like, Jennifer Hill. And I was like, oh, okay, I love her.
Yeah.
So, you know, it depends. It does. The person who takes over is like, yeah, then no. Not saying anything about the new Powerpuff Girls because I know nothing about them. So I don't want to say anything about them.
So, what's it like, Tara, playing, you know, these two characters who traditionally for years and years have been villains, so playing them more as heroic with the rest of the group? What's
I
that
think
like?
it's so endearing and sweet and cute and part of the whole girl power theme with, you know, this is their lives before anything bad happened to them, and you know, like you were saying, all these bad things that happen to create who you are. And so it's interesting to see them in this world, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, anytime I'm doing Harley, I'm literally laughing at how funny I am because I'm really funny. But like, she'll be doing all these things, and like, you know, Wonder Woman comes in and she's like nervous about her room, whatever, and I'm like, let me decorate it for you, and she's like serious, and I'm like, woohoo! She's really fun.
You have to wonder what happened to Harley after high school,
right? If this is true, yeah.
Downhill fast.
Hopefully she got her degree. She became a psychologist.
She did. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that. Yeah.
Most psychologists are similar, though, I have to say. It's true.
Yeah, like you wouldn't want them to be your mom.
do.
Right.
Every like person that's like just like really screwed up. I'm always like, what happened? Like my parents are psychologists. I'm like, oh, okay.
Too much access to drugs.
What are we talking about?
It's better than your last interview.
Oh, my sound bites. My sound
Yeah.
bites.
We've seen Wonder Woman start to step out on her own throughout the shorts, so what's her story in this movie?
She actually is kind of letting the other girls shine in this movie. She's been Hero of the Year, so you know she's like the Meryl Streep of Hero of the Year. You know, like give the other girls a
Did you
chance.
just call yourself Meryl Streep?
I like to talk about myself in the third person. She. No, she's really pretty much championing her friends, and she does save one girl's butt on the moon. Yeah. It's a very, pun intended, she saved her butt on the moon. Anyway.
Oh, clever. Yeah.
Do Harley and Ivy, they have a kind of BFF friendship for a while now. So do they interact in that way? And so what's it like voicing both of those characters?
So for this show, I do them back to back, and they're so different that you never confuse them. Like sometimes if you're playing characters that are similar, I'm like, let me do this one first and then go back. But they're so different that I just do them back to back, and it's pretty comical because Harley's so big and Poison Ivy's so timid in this series. Like she's really shy and sweet. So it's a lot of fun, and it's not so much challenging. Once in a while, you'll mix up a line and go, oh, that wasn't my line. But usually we keep them straight.
So, Gray, you've done a whole range of characters. You've gone from Azula to Wonder Woman. Which side do you find yourself more drawn to?
Well, I'm an evil person at heart. You know, Azula would make mincemeat out of Wonder Woman and push her off of her throne. Even if she had those shields or whatever invisible car. I enjoy playing villains more. I don't often play the straight girl. Even when I play Daphne, you know, she's gotten weird. As I've played her, she's gotten more weird every time I play her. And sarcastic and snarky and everything. It's just, I just don't often play the earnest, you know, just straight arrow character. So this is kind of like a challenge for me to not
It's always
bring
more
in
fun
that
to be
little
the bad girl.
Yes.
And the crazy girl.
And the mean Vicky person to your Timmy. I wish you'd go away.
Oh, that's right. You were both antagonists. I just realized that.
Yeah. We antagonize each other daily.
Wow.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Do you guys keep track of how often you're in stuff together? I mean, like for Loud Parent, for Mermaid 3,
We're just happy to see each other at sessions because I know it'll be more fun with sitting next to her. We text to each other.
text.
If people are annoying, we're like, oh my god, get it right. It's fake.
But Butch has started busting us too. Butch Hartman for the Fair Loud. He's like, are you guys texting each other?
We're like, why did they hire that person? We could have done that. Not even making us real bitches. We are. We're going to be up in a balcony someday on the Muppets. Just like,
So you two have been in the voice acting industry for at least over a decade.
Yeah.
So a lot of people kind of see you as icons in that way. And we just talked to like the voice actors for Supergirl and Bumblebee. You know, they're a lot younger. So what do you think about the voice acting industry in terms of like a lot of it's female? Like there's a lot of women behind it. What do you think about how it's kind of been a way for women to kind of perform, and how do you see it? I'm trying to voice it, say this right. Like, do you see it as a viable thing for women to do in terms of performance? And are you happy with the way it's going up till now?
You want to take that?
I love that you know, there's so much ageism in Hollywood, you know, on camera wise, and I understand, especially with the HD, it's like you see yourself and you're like, ah! No, I thought I looked halfway decent. Yeah, don't put me in HD again. Technology. But, you know, with voiceovers, you know, I still play, I mean, I'm playing a 15-year-old, you know, I mean, I'm playing an infant, I mean, like, come on! And she does too, like, we play like zygotes. And then we play old ladies, and there's really no ageism in it. I mean, you know, if you start sounding like you can't do the voice anymore, maybe then, but if that comes down to just your talent, or, you So I just feel like parts are so much more opened up to us. Like people don't. I just don't mind. I feel bad for on-camera actors, is what I'm saying, because they have this window to be like the sexy girl, and I've been being the sexy girl for 22 years. So not in real life.
I think you're going to be sexy when you're 100.
Well, I can still play, I can play. I'll sound good. People will meet me in person and go like, yeah. What do you think?
All the questions.
I like that girls are in power. I like an industry that empowers women, and certainly animation has made strides. I mean, it's sometimes still they've got a ways to go, but things like DC Girls and other shows that empower women, that are written by women, directed by women, those things are all really, really great. And we're pretty happy to be a part of it.
And I mean, when we started, didn't you find that you were usually the only woman in the booth? Like usually they would hire one woman to do like the grandma, the boy, the teenage girl, and then there was like 5 guys in there with you, and they all played one part, and I was thinking, we're like the utility, we're like the Swiss Army knife of voiceover. But these days, I mean, just the fact that this cast is mostly female, that just hardly ever happens where there's more than a couple women in the booth. And on Fairly Odd Parents, we've got Suzanne, and we've got Kari Wahlgren, and I don't remember her name, but yeah, me and her, and so it's like nice. And there's only a couple guys in the booth as opposed to 4 women at Fairly Odd Parents. And then I'm doing The Loud House at Nickelodeon, which is like 10 sisters and 1 boy. So like, yeah, we're just women are taking over the presidency, hopefully. Yeah. So.
What's a message or a theme that you want, viewers, especially younger girls, to take from the film in general?
From our characters specifically, well, just that you don't really have to have any kind of superpower to be a hero, and that working together and empowering your fellow sisters is always a good thing, and that you can be strong no matter how tall you are. I think our show has a lot of great ethnicity in it, and it's a really great wardrobe. I mean, the girls look really great without being over-sexualized, and I think it's a really good message for young girls.
Yeah, it used to be cool to not have other women friends to decide, like, I just like guys. Guys are trustworthy. I don't trust women. I feel like it's becoming, people are seeing how cool it is to have a great stable of female friendships and also male friendships. Like, everybody's just friends. There's not a lot, it's not important about your superpower or your gender or whatever. I mean, it's just about working together and helping each other and empowering one another.
As Vicky and Timmy, you guys talk
he's still wrapping his mind around it. He's like, hold on a minute.
Really high-pitched voices, really screeching all the time, screaming, does it ever kill your throats? I'm genuinely curious.
No, Tootie wanted to kiss Timmy all the time. Kiss me. But I love you. No, Timmy.
It can be challenging. If you're doing a video game and you're screaming for 4 hours, that can kill your voice. But most of the regular animated characters we find ways to perform them without hurting our voices. Okay. Because there's ways of getting around certain hiccups in your voice. That's why we always say, how do you get into business? We always say take acting classes, take singing classes, learn what your voice can do. Because certainly if you're yelling wrong, you're going to blow your vocal cords.
Thank you very much.